poverty from which this guy came out of. He's from Rwanda. And by the way, please go and read Rwanda's story. And please, if you can, let's do an excursion as a church to Rwanda. Sunday service in Rwanda. For just to learn about the wickedness of men. And also the grace and mercy of men. I think we should. This young man is a year older than me. What he has accomplished, coming from the kind of background of failure, was because he had a different set of eyes. Let me see if I can play it. It's from a book called 1,000 Hills. You know how God makes you read things? People, some of you won't find that very interesting. God makes me read books. Well, it doesn't make me, but encourages me to read. And sometimes I'll be reading and say, what am I looking for here? Then he will now remind me that sometimes you have to read the whole thing to find. And this was the story he was taking me to.
The two-lane highway that winds northwest from Kigali toward Lake Kivu qualifies as a fine one by African standards. That means it is paved and kept in reasonable repair. It also has a feature rare in Africa and unique in Rwanda. A short stretch of it is illuminated by streetlights. At night, you drive through the unbroken dark, always slowly, in order to avoid hitting people. Suddenly, the road is bathed in light. A couple of miles later, as you are still marveling at this wonder, it is over, and you pass back into blackness. The first time this happened to me, I wondered, of all the highway stretches in Rwanda, why did the government choose to illuminate this one? Friends gave me a startling answer. The government did not choose this stretch, nor did it erect these streetlights, nor does it pay the electric bill. It is all Gerald Sina's work. Sina is the living crystallization of tomorrow's Rwanda, the exemplary citizen of the country President Kagame sees in his dreams. As a young man, his prospects would have seemed quite dim. His father was a subsistence farmer who could not afford to send him to school. By rights, he should have settled into a life like those his ancestors had lived for centuries, tilling a tiny plot of land and struggling to live off whatever potatoes or cassava he could coax from the overtaxed soil. But a spark burned within Gerald Sina. Like Rwanda itself, he had no resources to exploit except those within him. They turned out to be rich. By nature, I am very creative and innovative, he told me earnestly, as we climbed a steep hill in the heart of his rugged domain one morning. When I was very young, I was already dreaming of ways I could create a job for myself. I dreamed of starting my own business. Sina was born in 1963, and in his early 20s he went into business as a baker, specializing in wedding cakes. Like almost everyone else in Rwanda, he lost most of what he had in the maelstrom of violence that engulfed the country in 1994. By the end of that year, though, he had already started baking again. Then, inspired both by his own ambitions and those of the new regime, he began to broaden his interests. Now they are as diverse as anyone's in Rwanda. The reason Sina illuminated a 2-mile stretch of highway is that he owns a strip of businesses there. He has a grocery store with its own bakery, a sit-down restaurant, a snack bar that offers takeout service, a motel, and a pair of clean public restrooms. It is the only highway rest stop in Rwanda. Cars, trucks, and buses are always parked out in front. This complex, though, is just one jewel in Sina's uniquely Rwandan crown. Sina has a mantra: add value. Since Rwandans will never be big enough to produce large amounts of anything, he reasons, it should process everything it grows. This dawned on him soon after he tried exporting fruit in the mid-1990s. He found that fruit prices were too low to guarantee a good income, that they fluctuated wildly in response to forces he could not control, and that much of the fruit he tried to sell spoiled quickly and had to be dumped. His solution was to stop exporting raw fruit and begin making and exporting fruit products instead. Now he is one of East Africa's leading producers of juice, jam, preserves, and banana beer. He even sells bottled hot sauce made from Rwandan chili peppers. Other countries in Africa aren't doing this, he told me. They aren't dynamic enough. They are sleeping. But Rwanda is awake. To make his products, Sina needs great quantities of fruit. He has persuaded 2,000 farmers in areas around his processing plant to give up subsistence crops and grow fruit instead. His traveling agronomists teach them how, and at harvest time he buys everything they produce. This project has allowed people in an entire mini-region to make the decisive leap from acute poverty to bearable poverty. In fields near his highway rest stop, Sina maintains a demonstration farm where Rwandans can learn to grow crops many of them have never heard of. He has brought vanilla seeds from Uganda, apricot saplings from South Africa, and macadamia plants from Kenya. There is an herb garden, the only one of its kind in Rwanda, where he has introduced parsley, basil, thyme, rosemary, and chamomile. Nearly every day, curious farmers from nearby, and increasingly from far reaches of the country, come for lessons. They pay nothing, and are even told that if they want to try growing any of the crops they see, Sina will buy all they wish to sell. Near the demonstration farm is a carpentry shop that produces lumber for Sina's various enterprises. There is also a brick factory that, at Sina's direction, employs mainly women. In a livestock compound, pigs, ducks, and chickens thrive on specially designed diets. Beyond are rabbit hutches, beehives, and fish ponds. Many farmers in this part of north-central Rwanda have been isolated for generations because no roads reach the remote hills where they live. Sina has built rough but serviceable ones to all the areas from which he buys fruit. At the end of one of them is a school he has established for local children. It is free for all, with instruction in English, French, and Swahili, as well as Kinyarwanda. Wide eyes and bashful smiles greeted me when I appeared at a class being taught under a tree outside Sina's school. At a signal from their teacher, the blue-uniformed students rose, glanced at each other for an anxious second, and then recited together in English, "Good morning, visitor. How are you? We are very happy to see you." I asked these 6- and 7-year-olds about their ambitions. They were extravagant. One wanted to travel the world. Another wanted to be president of Rwanda. The most popular ambition, though, was one I should have expected: to be like Gerald Sina. Any driver whose car or truck breaks down near Sina's rest stop can stay in his motel for free. He will give a cow or goat to any farmer in the region where he works, with the price to be paid over the following year in milk, which Sina hopes to be the basis of his next big enterprise, a mechanized dairy to produce high-quality yogurt and...
I have to stop. It's a bit long, but did you hear that? Did you hear that? From a country that survived the genocide. How big is your problem? How big do you think your problem is? You heard about the guy in Lagos who went to pray, needed like 50 million naira, 500 million. And the guy who was praying for 50,000 was louder than him. So he went to his car, brought out 50,000 naira, and said, "Okay, go away, so that God can hear me." I think when you compare yourself to what this guy went through, you need to read. He's globally recognized by World Health Organization, recognized by the UN, his accomplishments, and he's not educated. Go to school. Somebody will get up. How can you get workers? How does Dangote get workers? How does he build He's the largest exporter of jet fuel in the world today, from Lagos. The newspaper people said he got so far, he's annoying the Europeans right now. He said it is Ethiopian Air, Uganda Air, the African airlines that will ship it. He wants to give them jobs. He's gone to Kenya now to start another refinery. Same country, both of you are from. Rather than you say, what can I learn from Dangote in employing people? What systems does he have in place? You say Nigerians are not good. too small in my eyes. Oh Lord, very slowly. Forgive me, and I have believed in a lie that you are unable to help me. But now, oh Lord, I see my wrong. Oh, yeah. Hear my heart and show yourself strong. And in my heart and with my soul, oh Lord, be magnified. Oh Lord, be magnified.